it just came up going, well, if so-and-so is going to do that, then he can't report to me, the dad. He's going to have to report to my son. And if he's going to report to my son, then he's going to have to be president. And so it naturally transitioned. It just perfectly and beautifully transitioned. And to cap it off, the son that had left because of this new division they're in, he's now coming back into the business, and the two brothers are going to be working together. So it took a number of years, but it's doing great. So,
but that's interesting, Henry, because there are a couple things here. First of all, I don't know if in the beginning everybody was being honest with everybody. I mean, that's the whole key here. The sons did not have the gumption to say to the dad, this is not what I really want to do, and I really don't want to be here. The dad was not holding the one son accountable. The people who were very star employees didn't feel and have the freedom to tell the father what
exactly
they thought. I mean, it was a whole mishmash of all kinds of things. So I think, it all comes back to communication. It all comes back to really being okay with saying what you think in an authentic way and in a real way and in a non-harmful way. But sometimes you got to call the kettle what it is, and so.
Well, and it goes back to our earlier conversation, is that you have to establish a platform of communication. It has to be, look, we love each other and we're in business together. And so we don't want to hurt each other's feelings. But because, family is about unconditional love and support, and business is about making a profit. And these two things don't necessarily combine. And so we're going to have to talk about things that, in a business sense, that might hurt each other's feelings, even though that's not our intention. If you establish this communication system and platform, then you can be calling the kettle black, and you have a forum where you can talk about these things and not hurt people's feelings.
Well, that's the point. And so what are some, would you say, are the unique characteristics of family businesses that people should pay attention to?
Oh, boy. It comes down, it boils down to the family. People ask me, what makes family businesses different as opposed to unique. But the obvious uniqueness is that you are working with people that you love. So you can quit your job whatever job you happen to be in, whether it's with your family or not. You can always quit your job, but you can't quit your family. You're stuck with them, right? My mother's my mother, my father's my father, my brother's my brother, and my child is my child. And it will always be that way, whether they're with you or your relationship's good or bad or otherwise. Now, there are similarities with, I'm going to call it partnerships. There are some partnerships, particularly law firms, accounting firms, advertising firms, architectural firms, where you have partners. You get a group of people that were in the trenches together, like brothers in arms, comrades in arms in war times, and they go along and they care so much for each other that they want to transition the business, but they want to make sure that they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings as they go through this process, because they want to maintain that relationship, and so on and so forth. Now, I used to work at IBM. And I had a boss, and my boss had a boss, and so on and so forth. There was the CEO of the company. CEO reports to a board, and the board is dictated by the shareholders, which can be individuals like you and me, or it can be large pension funds, so on and so forth. So there's really, while we have friends and we have good friends that we trust at work in a corporate world, we're not related to them. They're not our family. And so that is the unique thing is that you're working with people that you love. And that's what makes it so awkward.
So how do you groom the next generation?
Wow.
And if they don't want to be groomed, I guess that's even.
And it's true. And let me preface that with something. I believe in three basic tenets. There's much more to it. But in my book, Dirty Little Secrets of Family Business, there's three things that must occur for success, three transactions, so to speak. the next generation has to be interested and capable. If they're not, if somebody in the next generation is not interested or not capable, you obviously can't transition. It will fail. Number two is the current generation has to be willing to let the next generation get a hold of the wheel. They have to be willing to step back. They have to be willing to step out so that they can grab onto the wheel and get that experience of actually running the business while they're around. If you're going to pass the business off after you die and the next generation's never had any experience and they find themselves at 55, the business will fail. Number three is, okay, so the next generation's interested, dad's willing to step back or mom's willing to step back, let them step into the seat and get the experience. Can the next generation get along? Can they actually cooperate with each other, whether they're equals or they've decided, no, we think Sally needs to be the president and I'm going to be marketing and somebody else is going to be finance, and we're good with that. But they got to be able to work together, because if they can't, again, it will fall apart. The grooming part is having this conversation about, we are a family business and this is the goose that lays the golden eggs, and while I love you, we need to go through a process of determining A, whether or not you're interested in doing this, and B, whether or not you're capable. I'm not the greatest teacher in the world. I'm going to do the best I can. But you need to have that understanding up front. The second piece is where a lot of family businesses go wrong, is they give them too much. They don't make them go through the hard path. They need to earn their stripes as they go into the business and grow up through the business. If you just drop into a vice presidency, it doesn't work, because you don't know what's underneath it, and you don't have the respect of the employees, and you don't really know what it takes to run the business if you haven't been in the trenches.
The thing, though, Henry, that you were saying that I think is so ideal is if you could get, like a perfect partner for me, if I were to be, taking a partner, would be a technology person or someone interested in that, or staying in the office and doing the graphs and the charts and all of that, because that is not my thing at all. And
right.
Those kinds of people normally don't like to be out in the field or talking to people or making appointments. And if you could get two people, one who loves to be on the outside and one who loves to be on the inside, that is really ideal, But
interestingly, that is a characteristic. You try to make that happen, because if you've got two people that want to do the same thing, it can make it awkward. But a lot of the family businesses I see, especially amongst siblings, you literally have what you said. You got the inside person. They do the numbers, they manage the people, so on and so forth. And then there's the person that's the outside person, working with the crews, working with the teams, working with the customers. And there's the yin-yang thing going on, and it works out great.
Absolutely. Well, so now why don't we tell our listeners where they can get a hold of you? How can they get a copy of your book? How can they reach you? If there's anybody listening who is thinking about possibly bringing your children in, or you're at the point where you say, I do want to live regret-free, and I want this business to continue, and I'd love my kids to have it, but I'm just not sure.
Right.
Where would they find you?
Well, our company is Family Business USA, so you can just go to Family Business USA and read all about us and what we do and our philosophy and so on and so forth. And I think through there are links to go to the book, but Google Dirty Little Secrets of Family Business, or it's on Amazon and other e-sites that are out there. So it's Family Business USA. Henry Hutcheson too, but I think Family Business USA will take you right to where you want to go, and that's where people generally find us.
Well, I'll tell you something, Henry. You have been just a wealth of information, and for those of you who are in this situation, you really should get a hold of Henry. He has every qualification you could possibly imagine. He was brought up in a family business. He has studied to be a CMC, a certified management consultant, and a certified family business advisor. And, he is the kind of person who I think really would take an interest in your individual situation. You aren't just a number, Henry. That's the important thing. You're
right.
You're a very important person and a very important business, and that's the key. So I know you
Gail,
want to say
let me.
something.
I do. I want to. I know we're closing here, but I want to. I want to help you and your audience understand that the goal in a family business, and I will tell you what it is because it is what it is. I'm not making it up. It's to preserve the wealth that you've built up by this business and through this business, and to maintain family harmony. That's the goal. That's what everybody wants. Don't know what that means in the end, but we do know what we're trying to accomplish.
Wow, you couldn't have wrapped up any better than that, Henry. Thank you so much for being with us today. My
Thank
guest
you,
has been
Gail.
Henry Hutcheson, and you must go to his site, Family Business USA.
Thank you, Gail.